It's done. Have belief, right? And that's what faith is about. And you guys have
always Jags.
Get ready, Henderson. Get ready. The slap finna happen. We been a slap, tap, rap, tap, 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 tap.
This boy got a hit.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your host Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and E to the T.
Wait, Tony, let me glance to my left. Oh, it's real today. He is here today.
Yeah.
I heard his name yesterday, and I looked over, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not Emmanuel Valorand, Esquire. What's up, E.T.?
Hey, what's happening, my boy?
Tell us what went down with the Sharks yesterday. What were you doing? If you're allowed to, if you're able
Oh, yeah.
to.
So the Jacksonville Sharks, they threw like a charity event where the kids, they took a field trip and they got to witness an exhibition game as the Sharks took on a lower level team. All the kids, they had a blast. Like I said earlier, it was one of the funnest charity events that I've gotten to be a part of because the kids, even the parents, oh my gosh, we've never been to one of these and we had such a good time. So I'm glad that the Jacksonville Sharks were able to do that.
Hey, have you heard what's the story with the Albany Empire, man? They still fielding the squad 10 days from now? Next game versus the Jaguars?
Hey, I don't know. They got to get rid of their owner or something, man.
You see that, and now Antonio Brown's claiming he doesn't own the team. It's some shell court. I don't know, man.
Okay.
What shenanigans going on in professional football world. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Jaguars Today, as we always do, talk a little Jacksonville Sharks to lead things off on the program. So glad you're along with us here. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and E.T. here with you. As has been rumored and speculated for quite a while, the Jags will be playing back-to-back games in London this year, although all the crack reporting on it being the Carolina Panthers as the home opponent, that's a whiff. It's the Atlanta Falcons, which, quite honestly, Tony, you probably take away Atlanta's easiest non-divisional road trip, right? I mean, come from Atlanta to Jacksonville, man.
Right,
you kidding me? That's a little 1-hour flight, and now you send them across the pond into a circumstance where hopefully this team is more acclimated to dealing with it, and,
on top of being the better team.
On top of that, sure, but
right
look,
now,
the Jags, I felt, were the better team against a lot of the teams they lost to last year.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's still the NFL. You take every advantage you can get in professional sports, legal advantage, mostly. And in this case, it certainly is one. But then, of course, as rumored and speculated as well, a 2-week stay as they take on the Buffalo Bills the following week. And so today, the Chet and Sandy real estate question of the day, pretty straightforward. What is your reaction to what you had heard was probably coming? But I tell you what, when I got up this morning and I looked at the schedule, the first thing I saw was Atlanta at Jacksonville in London. I'm like, wait a minute, it is Buffalo as the second game. So what is your reaction to the Jags playing back-to-back games this year in London? Of course, the home game versus Atlanta and the road game versus the Bills. And you know what? I don't want to kind of spoil it out there. I'll let you react, and before we start getting into what some of the reactions are. One thing, though, I will say, you got to realize it is a home and a road, okay? And as somebody on social media this morning said, they're taking another game, another revenue stream. No, they're taking it from Buffalo in this game. It's still, and by the way, they're not taking a revenue stream. When the Jags go there, they're not losing a revenue stream.
No.
You're losing the venue. You're losing TIAA Bank Field, and there for a lot of Jaguar fans, I think it still stinks that they play any games in London. Others understand that, whether they have come to accept it or just accept that it's going to be a reality, that, the Jags do better financially by a 2-to-1 ratio from what they tell us when they go over there, which makes the team more solvent. I think the majority of the fan base lives with it. Don't forget, we're just, 3 years removed from the Jags wanting to play 2 home games in London, and then the pandemic came and those plans were scrapped. So, I think there's still in the back of some people's minds that fear that, is this another step in the road to something like that? Because I think that's a completely different conversation with the Jaguar fan base. Overwhelmingly, for the most part, I say overwhelmingly, I think it's a strong majority are looking at it like, hey, we're the ones who have the advantage here. We're going to be there. We'll be acclimated. Buffalo's got to come over and make that trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that has been the reaction that we've gotten so far this morning.
Mostly.
At least the majority of it, right? I think, look, the NFL is seriously looking at it and trying to figure out what it would look like to have a team that is an international team, if not multiple international teams. I think that they're seriously trying to figure out what that's going to look like. At some point, if you're going to do that, someone's going to have to play a bunch of games in the international markets in the same year, right? Like, that's just going to be part of the process. At some point, it can't just be a team going over there one time and then coming back home. Like, it's got to be something beyond that. That over there is home at some point. So, look, the Jags were the guinea pigs, however long ago it was when they were the first team to be playing a game over there in London every year. And they're the guinea pigs again for what does it look like when a team's playing back-to-back games in London? How does that work for the teams that is doing that, still trying to play an NFL schedule without the benefit of having 2 or 3 teams over there that you can play, 4, 5, 6 times.
Right. Look,
whatever.
if they didn't have that in mind, there's no reason to select the Jags as a road opponent.
No.
Right? Like, if they weren't using this as a lab setting, like you said, okay, how do they do it? Look, quite frankly, the reports are they're probably going to have their bye immediately afterwards. I mean, at some point, somebody's going to play 2 games over there and not have a bye because let's say there is a team in Europe or a division in Europe. Well, you can't just have bye weeks.
Yeah.
All throughout the season, right? And so it's not going to work that way. So this is somewhat of an NFL litmus test to see how well, things get handled. And here's the other thing. Got the bye week in week 6. That sucks, man. Because then it's no rest for the weary, rest of the season. And who knows, at how many points you're going to have a team coming off a bye that you're having to face throughout the course of your schedule. I don't know, there's no guarantee that there's going to be a bunch of those, but I don't think any NFL team, if they had their choice, would take their bye week in week 6.
Probably not. When did the bye start?
At least no
last
coaching
year?
staff would.
No, yeah. When did they?
Probably about week 6.
I thought they started even earlier than that.
Maybe they
last
did.
year.
Maybe it was
I
even
feel
week.
like it was like week 4.
It might have been. Would you want the bye in week 4, though, is the
Heck
point,
no.
right?
Man.
Like, give me 8, 9, give me something right in the middle. Or look, the way the Jags did it last year. Like, hey, don't give us the bye right away. Like, we don't want it, right? Let's spread this thing out. So now, in this case, having played 2 games over there, it's probably the prudent course of action, we don't know how we're going to react to being in, 5 time zones away and then coming back and all this stuff like that. And I just wish it had been a little bit later in that regard, But, again, as someone pointed out, well, that, one less hot home game early in the season. Well, look, 2 of your first 4 could easily, very easily, more than likely going to be at home anyway. Chances are you're not going to open with 3 out of 4 on the road. So you're probably going to have 2 hot games in September anyway. You do lose in October. Home. I say lose, in terms of locale, you do lose that aspect of it. So, I mean, it's still hot in October. I get it. But, whenever that shade's coming any day now, right? I've been told. Is that tomorrow or when is that? End of the week? Should we expect the shade?
I think it's a little bit more.
Has
of
there been movement on the shade
timetable than that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because I heard rumors of shade happening, and I'm throwing shade at the shade. Apparently, and that is one of the most requested things. For years, it was cup holders, right?
Yep.
We're back at the other station. What do they program on that thing now, by the way? Is it like some business? Is it like religious music? What is it?
I think it might be like Christian music.
We took their soul and they died into a withering husk. It's a shame for them, I say facetiously, because there were some people I was glad to say goodbye to there in management. But, I mean, back in the day, I remember people just wanted the cup holder, man. Just give me a cup holder in my seat, and we'll be fine. And so, I get it. Shade, it's hot, man. I don't have to sit in there. I sit indoors. I get it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel how you feel as a fan. And that's why we're asking you today, okay? How do you feel about this circumstance? And you kind of knew it was coming. You were prepped for it, but Jags will play Atlanta in Week 4 and Buffalo in Week 5 back-to-back. One of those, the home game versus Atlanta, you stick around, road game versus Buffalo. Imagine if the Jags were like, we'll just fly back real quick, get a few practices in here in Jacksonville. Nope, not going to happen for sure. The idiot Nepo baby is at it again. Kyle Brandt trying to justify his low ranking by saying if Trevor Lawrence wants to be considered on the same level basically as Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, he better go out there and beat them. Who said he had to be on that level? Nobody is sitting there saying Trevor Lawrence is better than all those guys.
You put him 4 tiers below those
guys. You put him below
guys.
Garoppolo, man. You put him with Kenny Pickett, for God's sakes. Who is Kenny Pickett beating that, we're standing up and taking notice of at this point in time? And, of course, overlooking the fact that Trevor's, it's a team game. I get it. But we're talking about head-to-head quarterback matchups. He's beaten Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. He's beaten Herbert twice. He's beaten Lamar Jackson. Oh, those don't count, though. I guess because I'm Kyle Brandt and my granddaddy got me a job. So we got that going on. And we have Mike DeRocco, who has earned everything in his career by pulling himself up by his bootstraps. And he will come on to talk Jaguar football with us, including the early reveal. And keep in mind, tomorrow night's the rest of the schedule coming out. So you'll be able to make your plans. Single game tickets go on sale Thursday night, I do believe, for the Jacksonville Jaguars game. So if you're not a season ticket holder or you just want to load up on some of what is a ridiculously good home schedule this year, very attractive set of games, you'll have that opportunity to do that. So if you want to get in today, talk any aspect of Jaguar football, you're welcome to do that with us here at 641-1010 on the phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Or, as always, hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at IME2 the T.
Come on, somebody.
All right, we're off and rolling. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Waste Management Wednesday continues from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios on 1010XL.
Honda has done it again with their all-new exciting SUV and truck lineup for 2023. HRV, Pilot, Passport, Ridgeline trucks, and our popular CRV Hybrid. This is without a doubt Honda's most impressive lineup. Visit your local Honda dealer today. We're dealing.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathans.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler for 46 years, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off on our entire inventory. GIA certified diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase. So get something special with a payment you can afford. Come experience your local family jeweler with a gift of fine jewelry for Mom. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
He was number 55, and he's still our middle linebacker.
You're gonna lose.
Tom McManus.
It was like he didn't know what to do.
Friday from 10 to noon, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Do you have a plumbing problem that's making you feel like a sitting duck? Call Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic. Our team of expert plumbers will have your pipes flowing smoothly in no time. DuckDuckRooter.com.
It's such a great time of year. I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Bike Week really kind of gets people thinking about what is the latest and greatest on-road, especially from Honda.
Absolutely. The new Honda Rebel lineup is fantastic. Anywhere from the 300 to 1100. The Gold Wing's always hot.
They're going to see guys going really fast down at Daytona, and then they can come to your showroom and check out what you've got.
The Supercross will kick it off. There's lots of festivities from Daytona, which will surely translate back to our dealership and back to our showroom.
Come check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is ready to help. If you need extra cash or a quick loan, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash in hand. They also love to buy items of value. They need gold, silver coins, and flatware, jewelry, guitars, and of course, guns.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after Sunday games. Call 358-2846 or jackshrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS. IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Need more Gators?
We've got you covered.
Search 1010XL Florida Gators
where you find podcasts.
Or visit 1010XL.com to hear Hicken and Franchi on Mondays and Denny Thompson and Hacker on Wednesdays.
New episodes each week.
All Jags, all NFL. Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right. This is, I see exactly where Duval Doom is coming from right now. For once. It's rare, but it happens. On Twitter this morning, in response to your reaction, asking for your reaction to the Jags back-to-back games in London, Doom says, I despise it because it lends itself to the continuing narrative that the team will eventually relocate to London, and that's stupid. Better than taking 2 home games, so that's like saying day-old tuna salad is better than a bowl of poop. I mean, if you wanted to play back-to-back games in London every year, if one was a road game, I'd sign up for that forever. If you knew that was the extent of it, right? Hell, let's play our whole road schedule over there, Tony. You know what I mean? All right, let's do that. That'd be fine. They're all your home games, and we'll play the rest of them here in Jacksonville. That's a little difficult. I get it, on the Jags travel, but you get what I'm saying. And to dovetail with that item at Pro Football Talk right before we come on the air, yes, if teams ever move to London, the Jaguars likely will be one of them. And it goes from likely to what he says that it's, he was talking about the handwriting of an eventual L.A. move from in St. Louis was spray painted on the wall. He says, in this case, it's not spray paint, it's an etching in stone. Now, that's not saying that they're moving to London. He's saying that if a team from the States ever moves there, and, that's going to be the discussion, whether you like it or not. see what happens to your season ticket base. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you move a second game there, like they threatened to do 3 years ago, a home game, I don't think that's going to go down well. Now, you could talk about, well, there are 9 home games now. Okay, but everybody else is getting them here in the States.
Yep.
You know, or every other year there are 9 home games, you know, and
Look, they've attached themselves to London. So any speculation about the NFL's future in London is going to be attached to the team that has attached themselves to London to this point. So, yeah, that's no surprise. I don't think it's particularly close to that kind of thing happening in the NFL. So I don't concern myself with it to any large degree, but I think you'd have to be nuts to think that the NFL isn't at least thinking about what it would look like to try to make that happen.
Of course they are.
And Jacksonville will definitely be at the center of those discussions when they happen, despite them building the new facility down there, despite whatever renovations may be coming down the road for the stadium. I don't think any of that necessarily prevents whatever those discussions are going to be about the Jags being in London.
I mean, in theory, you add a division to the league? I mean, are you going to are there enough quarterbacks to go around for 32 teams now? So,
how
is
about
that what we're
offensive
claiming?
linemen?
Right. I mean, how about everything?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those kind of positions where it's rare to find people. I mean, that's the problem with this whole thing. I mean, what's the point? Otherwise, did they go, hey, let's just give the Jags a reward because, you know, they get Buffalo here and they'll be already in place. I don't think they're looking to do them any favors.
No.
Put it that way.
The league's trying to figure out how to make that next big chunk of money, right? And they feel like the international market is untapped potential for the league, right? If they can put a team there and give the fans that are overseas a team or 2 or 3 or 4 that are their team, they feel like that's a logical step for the league to take if they can figure out the logistics of that happening and making it work. Now, again, as I said, I don't think they're close to figuring out what those logistics are, but I think you got to be dumb to not think that having one team playing back-to-back games overseas for the first time in league history
it's a litmus test.
Isn't them trying to figure out what it looks like to even do it on this small a scale at this point. That doesn't mean that they're ready to do it, but they're trying to get themselves ready to do it. You know, it's just
let's get this little stadium deal done with some very strong language in there. Like
that'd be awesome.
Nothing like I don't want to hear about fines of X because those mean nothing to NFL ownership. I mean, they're going to print money. Fines, don't mean a thing.
Whatever the fine is, it will not be close to whatever money they bring in for doing it.
So I mean that but again. That's me. It's more, and I tend to agree with Doom here that it's more the narrative of what it creates because here you go, national site that throws that out there the very next, few hours later, basically. Like, hey, don't forget, if anyone's going, it's you.
It was nice to whatever out-of-market interviews I get invited to do to have the last couple of years where it wasn't a talking point.
Just shut up, people.
Right? Like, they weren't asking me about London and how far in the future is that going to happen. I fully expect any out-of-market interview I do this offseason that one of the questions they're going to ask is, when are they moving? Right? Like, the question's going to come. It's part of the discussion about this franchise outside of Jacksonville. Definitely part of it when they think about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this kind of thing isn't going to silence any of that conversation.
Well, especially because it was just a few years ago when they said, we're going to try to play 2 home games there.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the pandemic, is that the only thing that really stood in the way? At the time, public reaction was not good. That's for sure.
No,
but,
yeah.
It wasn't good. I don't think, as I recall, when they originally set out to do this years and years ago with the 1 game. So, anyway, I'm not trying to tell you the sky's falling. I just, I'm kind of with Doom. I don't like the narrative that it creates and enables people to keep blah, 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 blah. And it's on and on and on and on and on. And, does that ultimately get used against you? Like right now, like, play 1 game over there. It's like, you want a free trip to London every year? You know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think that for some players, that might make playing in Jacksonville more attractive.
Maybe.
You know, I don't think it makes it any less. It's not like they have to schedule travel for themselves and all that stuff. I mean, these guys, show up, step on the plane, everything's taken care of. They've got special customs to whip through. The international travel aspect of it, it's not like if you or I were trying to fly into Heathrow Airport on a, just a regular ticket among the unwashed masses. 641-1010. Let's go to Steve in Melbourne to kick things off this morning. Mike DeRocco coming up in about 13 minutes or so from ESPN's Jaguar coverage. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, guys. My thoughts on the two London games, I don't mind it that much as long as they're back-to-back, which I think was the only way to do it. I see it as a competitive advantage, at least against Buffalo, so we don't have to go there. But I do agree with Mike in the essence of I would prefer the bye week more in the middle of the season. And from what I heard last year, and I could be wrong, they asked Doug, hey, you got a London game. Do you want the bye week after? And he said, no, just continue a little bit. I would kind of do the same thing if, hypothetically, they asked him the same question, depending on who my 6th and 7th opponent are. Like, if we play the Bucks or the Texans or whatever, where on paper, maybe at 75%, we should beat them. I would take that into consideration if that were the case. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Because if it's the Chiefs or Bengals, I would prefer being at 100% playing them.
Yeah, I don't think that the Jags would even have that information as to who they're playing. You know what I mean? Like the schedule, from everything we've heard, it's being tinkered with right down to the last second, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, we got to get more primetime games, or we got to do, where are we going to put these games so they're marquee events? And if you put this one on Sunday Night Football, that means some other great matchup that you had. So maybe we got to move this to another week. Can't have them both. The same with Lamar Jackson. Now, if he's not back in Baltimore and there's uncertainty, maybe they get a few less primetime games. With Lamar Jackson, they're a more attractive team to watch. So I think these, I don't think it's that. I think if the Jags have a choice in this at all, I think it's probably wise. You don't know how you're going to adjust to being over there for that period of time, and then you have to readjust coming back to the States. They had gotten it down to, Tone, where, we go for a week, we go for 6 days, we go for 8 days, and then they're like, no, let's get in there Friday morning. And you don't have to make as big an adjustment.
Yep.
We go right to the practice field, try to keep our body clocks about the same, and it's quick, and you don't have as dramatic an adjustment. At least that's what I read by the Jags choosing to do that, because their travel plans are their travel plans. They don't have to go for the whole week if they don't want to, and they clearly haven't. Now, in this case, you're playing over there, then you're going to be over there, and you're going to play again over there. I think the prudent thing is, having not done it, let's take the bye week after that. I just wish, for the Jags' sake, that had been like weeks 7 and 8 that they're doing it, and week 9 is your bye week.
Yeah.
That's all.
I did look. Last year, the bye weeks did start in week 6. That seems to be pretty typical.
Okay.
So it would be the earliest window for the bye weeks would be in week 6.
I guarantee you, every team that doesn't have a major injury where a guy, hates the week 6 bye.
Yeah, no doubt. I should go look at see how the teams did with early buys last week and how they fared for the rest of the season.
How they fared.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I do, like, in my own mind, the debate between, knowing that the Jags did the week leading up to the game early on in their London adventures and then decided, you know what? No, we're going in on Friday. We're going to try to keep it as typical as we can, keep the body clock as close to home as we possibly can. And they found that worked way better for the franchise to do that and then get out of London. Well, I think they'll do that for, obviously, the game against Atlanta. That'll be the plan. And then they're going to be doing the week-long body clock thing. I'm not sure how much that mitigates whatever advantage you have to being used to playing in London, right, against Buffalo. Whatever advantage playing Buffalo in London offers them, I think it is 100% just Buffalo's not getting to play it at home. I think that's the only advantage the Jags get, and that being the second game of this back-to-back thing, because I do think they were affected by having to spend a week there previously, right? And teams that are doing the London thing have more and more often said, you know what? No, we're going in on Thursday,
Well,
Friday.
They follow the Jags, who kind of, sussed out the formula.
And Buffalo can do that, right? Jacksonville can't for that game. So I think whatever advantage it gives them, boils down to they don't have to play the game up in Orchard Park.
Week 6 buys last year, Detroit, they got hot in the last part of the season. Houston stunk. Raiders, meh. And the Titans, who faded, now coincided with Tannehill's injury in large part, and the Jags putting that ass whooping on them a couple times. But, honestly, you look at the next week, Buffalo, the Vikings, and the Eagles, right? 3 of the better teams all had buys in week 7. I'm not saying it's insurmountable. I'm just saying
you'd prefer it later.
If you those teams probably would have said, let's take that in week 10 at least. Now, at the other end of the extreme, you had 6 teams off in week 14.
Yeah.
So you're going hard for 13 weeks, man. The weeks 11, 12, 13, you're kind of maybe getting worn down a little bit, and you're playing teams with fresh legs. So there's no ideal way to do it because there's always going to be inequities, right? You're playing more teams coming off a bye, or you're getting more advantages of playing teams on longer stretches, whatever. I'm not saying anyone's out to get anybody in terms of that. It just, had I had my druthers, let's stick that thing smack dab in the middle of the season. Would have been my preference on that. All right, coming up next, Mike Duraco of ESPN will weigh in on this. I'll get a little post-draft thought or two from Mike Duraco on that as well as what he is looking forward to seeing at a Jaguar rookie minicamp on Friday and Saturday this week. With Tony Smith and ET, I'm Mike Dempsey. Mike Duraco coming up next. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Keeping the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios clean. It's a Waste Management Wednesday on 1010XL. JOI, where the pros go.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold, whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island, or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
The only thing better than a day at Jack's Beach is driving there in a new ride. And now is the time, because it's the Summer Starts Here sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. It's over 350 premium pre-owned on the lot. All makes, all models, certified pre-owned, you name it, Arlington has it. You even get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it for one that you do. But this sale won't last long, so don't wait. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
This is Dr. Barbara Rappaport, and I have the perfect Mother's Day gift for all the moms, grandmas, wifeys, and aunties in your life. A personalized gift from The Aesthetic Center off Southside and JTB. Help the beautiful ladies in your life look and feel their best with our wide variety of face and body treatments. Call or text us today and ask about our Mother's Day specials, 808-2455, or book her appointment online at jacksaestheticcenter.com.
If it's time to upgrade or remodel your old fireplace, there's one name to know: CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Schedule a showroom tour and see why local builders voted CSS the best of St. John's. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
David here with Royal Pest Services. That grass is waking up from its winter nap. Royal is close to applying products that help bring it out of that dormancy. Our granular aeration allows treatment to get to the root system. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate. It's grow time!
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on South Side near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. 2 great locations offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
It's time to get on the tee with me, Joe C. The XL Primetime Spring League is back, and you need to be part of it. Southampton invites you to join us every Wednesday now through early May for our 9 after 5. As soon as you knock off work, you can head to Southampton for a great game every week. Chef Gary cooking up something good for afterwards and prizes. Call 287-PLAY and get in the game every Wednesday. It's our 9 after 5 at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY now.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
If you want to get into broadcasting, 1010XL is partnering with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer on-air broadcast training to a select few. Find out how you can be mentored at getintobroadcasting.com. Getintobroadcasting.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. There's comfort in having real-time financial solutions you can trust. When it comes to your money, count on First Florida Credit Union. When value counts, rely on First Florida for rates and rewards that give you the freedom to enjoy more of what you want. When service counts, depend on First Florida for the conveniences you expect and the personal connection you deserve. First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
60 minutes. 4 quarters. 2 teams. 1 winner. 1010XL. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. All Jags, all NFL. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
We seek the truth. We ask Mike Duraco to provide it from ESPN on the Jaguar beat. Your man, a one-time Breakfast Bowl champion. His greatest honor in life, ladies and gentlemen. D-Rock, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. We are doing well. Look, we knew it was coming, or at least we had been prepared that it likely would be coming with the Jags playing consecutive games in London. D-Rock, I don't like it that it's this early. They'll look like they'll have a Week 6 bye, but what's your general take on this state of affairs?
It's better than 2 home games over there, isn't it?
It is that.
Yeah, I mean, last year when I was writing that story about the Jags in London, someone from NFL UK told me that, it's glad they're eager to see how the Jaguars do in terms of running the entire game in London at Wembley Stadium, because that's sort of a trial run to see if it's easy enough to get to do that on a weekly basis, or if it can be done on a weekly basis, and looking toward the future for an NFL franchise in London, not necessarily the Jaguars, but I think this is a further part of that, just to see, okay, what are the fans willing to pay? Are there going to be a lot of Jags fans? Are they willing to pay back-to-back weeks some pretty high ticket prices and come watch the Jags play twice in 2 weeks? And I think that's something the NFL will really want to see.
Because right now there's no way to measure if they really would support one NFL franchise. They will support NFL games, and the NFL does a pretty good job most of the time of sending good teams there and sending stars there for them to watch. But the question will be, is that something that can be supported every week? And what if it's a bad franchise? What if it's a team that hasn't had a winning season in a decade? Or has only had one winning season, in 12 years or whatever the heck it was. Will they come out week after week after week to watch that? So it's going to be interesting to watch. But, I mean, like you said, we kind of heard rumblings this was coming. And I don't know about the Jags having to bye right after. That would be, a week 6 bye? That's awful early. I know in the past they've chosen not to have the bye right after London, but this may be a little different since it's 2 weeks.
What have you heard about the success or lack thereof of them expanding the international games last year with a couple of games in Germany, which they'll be doing again this year?
Oh, I think it was a fantastic success. I saw something the other day that the league was extremely pleased. I think it, was the largest their football, sporting event held there, I think. And the league was just ecstatic with the numbers that they saw. So not a surprise that they're going back to Germany. I'm eager to see where the next international game's going to be. I mean, we've got one in Germany. We've got one we got multiple in London. They've played in Mexico City. Is Japan next? Are they going to be flying over to Japan for a game? Are they going to try something in Spain or France? I'm just eager to see where the league thinks they can go next, and to see if things will work for, what everybody, the rumbling right now seems to be because of what Roger Goodell said, a European division. So I'm going to be eager to see where they go.
Right, is there? Are there enough good players out there, Mike, to support an expansion division, or is it a combination of things? And you know what the narrative's going to be, because it's already started up once again. Pro Football Talk. If any teams ever move to London, if there's ever a division, the Jags are going to be first in line. And so, look, and again, it's not like we didn't know that this scheduling thing was coming, but this will reignite the narrative as low-hanging fruit, I think, for some in the national media, not guys certainly as wise as yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already started. I think Pro Football Talk put something out there. The stadium stuff will go a long way towards putting this in the grave, which is where it belongs. If they get the stadium deal done and the new renovations, and it's fantastic, then the local revenue increases. I still think they'll play one game a year in London, because that's just a revenue stream that Schott can't leave untouched. But it should, if they get another 30-year lease, they've already got the Miller Electric facility up and running almost. I think it'll open the end of next month, and they're responsible for that, running that for the next 20 years, 30 years. That would put the Jags relocating to London to dead for good. So the stadium is the next step, and we'll see how that goes. We've got the mayoral election next week?
Yeah,
is that next week? And then things should start moving shortly after that, in one direction or another.
And just for the audience's sake here, so they know, this is Wembley Stadium for the home game, and they'll play in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the road game. So it'll be more of a road game for the Jags, because they're used to playing in Wembley. So a little of that, home feel advantage for them, like been in the venue, experienced the venue, is not going to be in their column this year. Now, I don't know if that matters really all that much, but, just that to note, wanted to make sure people understood the way it was set up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They played a game at Tottenham once a couple of years ago, didn't they, D-Rock?
21.
Yeah.
21. Yeah, that's the game they beat the Dolphins. That was the Urban Meyer first victory. So always go down in the annals of Jaguars history.
Slider play, yeah.
Yeah, and snapped the 20-game losing streak. So, yeah, that was the only game that they've played in Tottenham Hotspur. And all these other games are in London. And, again, I think last year the revenue was 40% more. Ticket revenue was 40% more than what they would get for a normal average home game here in Jacksonville. So I can't imagine that Shad would be willing to let that revenue stream go. So I think an annual game in London is always going to be on the table.
D-Rock, looking back at the draft with you, since we haven't had the chance to have you on since the draft was completed, what was your favorite of the Jaguars' 13 draft picks that they wound up making?
Probably Parker Washington, just because his sister works in the personnel/scouting department of the Bears, and they passed on him 8 times.
Oh no!
I am eager to ask him about that this weekend. Just try a fun story out about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll think that's fun.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun for me. I'm sure Thanksgiving dinner at the Washington house is going to be a little awkward from now on. But no, I mean, I think the probably the Tank Bigsby pick. All of a sudden, with the addition of Dearness Johnson, that running back room goes from, kind of iffy to really a pretty strong room. So I really liked that pick in terms of getting somebody that can help them short yardage-wise as well. Yazir Abdullah, that's the only guy they drafted to kind of help with the pass rush. He's an undersized guy, but let's see how he performs. I kind of like that pick as well. Brenton Strange, the second-round pick, the tight end out of Penn State. Doug Peterson got up there and said he's a ready-made tight end for us. And it's like, okay, so he sees him in a lot of 2 tight end sets. That's Doug Peterson really likes to run that kind of stuff. So, I think he'll be involved maybe offensively a lot more than maybe some people think. But the Anton Harrison pick, which I managed to get right in the ESPN mock draft. You're dang right. I'll take that W anytime I can get one. Made a lot of sense. Not just because of the suspension or potential suspension for Cam Robinson, but, we all know the money figures, and it's probably Cam's last year here in Jacksonville. So now they've got their replacement, albeit, probably at right tackle next year with Walker Little moving over. But, most of those day 3 picks sort of treat them almost a little bit as undrafted free agents. That's at least how the Jags are sort of viewing them anyway. And, getting more of those guys to increase your ability to hit on one. You're playing the odds there. Instead of trading away a bunch of those third-day picks to move up further in like the 5th round or what have you, the more guys you have, the better potential of hitting on one, I guess, is, you're playing the odds, I suppose. But, it was a solid draft class. The top 3-4 picks, or top 3-round picks, I would rate as very, very solid. Filled needs both now and in the future. And then after that, some role players that I'm really eager to see.
Yeah, I still scratching my head about the Ventrell Miller selection, D-Rock. I mean, where does he fit in to you?
I guess he's Shaquille Quarterman when Shaquille Quarterman is gone.
So we got backup to Shaq Quarterman. We're ready.
Yeah, well,
for
1 year,
down.
I guess. Yeah, I think this is Shaq's final year of his rookie deal. So, yeah, that's the one that I'm not really 100% sure about. But, they see something in this kid, maybe as a special teams guy. Maybe they're not as in love with, Muma or Lloyd as we think they are. Or the other potential is they're considering moving Devin Lloyd outside to that linebacker spot permanently, and they need somebody else to kind of step in there and play alongside Foye Oluokun. So we'll see how it goes. But that one is the one that is a little bit of a head shaker or head scratcher out of all of those draft picks probably.
You mentioned that they didn't address the edge rush until the 5th round of the draft, and we've been waiting to see when or if they're going to sign one of these veterans in free agency. Why do you think the veteran free agent edge rush market still hasn't developed into this offseason, and when do you think those players will really start getting signed?
I think, a lot of guys probably are having an unrealistic thought of what they can get in the market. And, I think a guy like Yannick Ngakoue is a good example of that. He is a situational pass rusher. He's not an every down player. Guys don't want to think of themselves like that. They want to think of themselves as a starter, an every down player. And, I think the numbers might not line up with what the Jags are willing to spend. It's not only the Jags, it's, the rest of the league. Frank Clark is still out there, for example. So I think what we'll see is once we get into mini camps in June, heading into the mid part of June, I think that's when some teams will be taking a better idea of maybe what they have and whether they really need help there. Because look, if Abdullah is just phenomenal, then maybe you don't go and spend that extra money on, a pass rusher that might cost you $8-9 million a year. I mean, who knows? But I think the rest of the league is sort of taking a wait-and-see approach, and they're willing to wait some of these guys out, which from a salary cap and money spending point of view is probably the right move since there's no rush to grab these guys right now.
Well, there's no rush until there is. Yesterday, Chris Jones of the Chiefs taking to social media, trying to push the team to bring Frank Clark back. At some point, these guys are not just going to wait around to see what the Jags are going to do, and I know there are a lot of them out there, but there has to be an order of preference that they have with these guys. So I'm not going to put all my eggs in the Seer Abdullah basket right now. I'm going to get myself a veteran pass rusher if I can all help it. But D-Rock, is this being influenced by the lack of extension for Evan Ingram? I mean, it looks like the Jags have enough cap space right now regardless to go out and get a guy. But where do you think things are headed in the near future? Still got a couple of months before the deadline hits on getting a long-term deal done with Ingram.
Yeah, I think they're stuck on the money, the annual salary. My understanding is that Ingram wants a lot. Being among the highest paid tight ends is what I understand, and the Jags are not willing to kind of go there at that point. And taking a chance, not taking a chance, but taking Brenton Strange, if that works out, then, the Jags are willing to let Ingram, may be willing to let Ingram go after this next year. If things work out with Strange and they can't work out a long-term extension, now they'd love to work out a deal with Ingram, don't get me wrong. That would be, in both sides, probably best interest here. But what hurt Ingram a little bit, I think, is the fact that those tight ends, some of those tight ends in free agency signed one-year deals for, $9 million, I think a couple of them signed for. So, that has to change, the thinking on what the tight end market is. And, from the Jags' point of view, they will be facing a really serious decision next year in terms of, what if Josh Allen goes crazy and is a 12-sack guy? What if Calvin Ridley is fantastic and is up there around 1,300 yards receiving? You've got to franchise one of them to protect yourself. So if you can get Ingram done, you don't have to worry about that, and then it's one of those. So we'll see how it goes, but I think there's just a little far apart still on kind of the annual salary money.
What will you be looking for this weekend out at the rookie minicamp?
Just kind of, you can't tell anything. I mean, anybody that walks away from the rookie minicamp and sits there and goes, oh, my God, this guy's going to be a great player, you can't tell anything. They're running drills. They're learning. They're a half a step off of where they eventually will be, but you just want to see what they look like moving around. I mean, I saw an Oklahoma game or two or parts of one, but I didn't focus on Anton Harrison. I don't know what he looks like moving around. Same thing with Strange. And I watched probably more Florida, so I've seen Ventrell Miller, but I haven't seen Abdullah. How quick is he? Antonio Johnson, a lot of people seem to think he might be a massive steal for the Jags in the 5th round. I don't remember him at Texas A&M. So, I just want to see what they look like moving around and see who kind of flashes a little bit, whether it's in the, making a nice catch or beating somebody one-on-one. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. And, there are, the teams will know, too, if they made a mistake, because usually the guys that can't play or that are overmatched, that will start to show up relatively quickly in the rookie minicamp. So that's what they're on the lookout for, guys that maybe don't belong.
All right, D-Rock, wish a happy Mother's Day to Mrs. D-Rock, if you would, for us. And we appreciate you hopping on, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there that are listening, and to Mrs. Dempsey as well.
Well, thank you very much. All right, there you go. Mike Duraco of ESPN. At ESPN Duraco is where you'll find him on Twitter. Most in this audience already know that. There he goes, halfway through Jaguars Today. More to come straight ahead, including your continued reaction to the Jags playing consecutive games, one home, one away in London this season. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Helping you over the hump. It's a Waste Management Wednesday on Jaguars Today.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
JOI, where the pros go. Things you never hear Dan and Jeff say.
Look, I just want to say I'm sorry for the way I acted.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are The Drill.
I was a maniac.
Yeah, but I see you changed your ways.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Thank you. It means a lot.
If your hair is thinning and you're looking for an easy solution that will restore your hair, check out IHRS PRP Platelet-Rich Plasma. PRP, using your own platelets and cells to restore your hair where it's thinning. Combined with their FDA-approved laser hair therapy and pharmaceutical-grade products, all three will deliver one better result. Call IHRS now for a free evaluation and to find out if their PRP 45-minute treatment will work for you. Now there is a solution for any man or woman with any degree of hair loss. And it's all in one place. Call 904-777-IHRS. IHRS has been restoring hair for over 30 years. The staff at IHRS knows what it's like to lose their hair. And that's why they're ready to help you grow your hair back.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Hi, Kevin here with Armor Guard Exteriors and Gutter Helmet. It's time to start your springtime projects. Don't wait. Our suppliers are ready to deliver gutters, gutter protection, retractable screens and awnings, window replacements, and glass on ice. So let's get started on your home improvement projects now and receive 18 months, 0 interest, and no money down. Call 904-906-8669.
Attention all business owners. The raining season is coming and it's important to ensure that your property storm drains are free from debris and functioning properly. That's where Duck Duck Rooter comes in. Our powerful VACCon truck can effectively clean out your storm drains and prevent costly damage to your property from flooding. Don't let clogged storm drains ruin your business and reputation. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to schedule a cleaning before the rains hit. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in the orthopedic practice and physical therapy and rehab centers categories once again. For the last 29 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday with beer specials. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks. And the first 2,000 fans on Saturday get free Vice. Plus more fireworks courtesy of River Point Behavioral Health and 1-to-1 Financial. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family, fun.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Looking for a great way for your kids to enjoy sports? Check out I-9 Sports, the way youth sports should be, offering flag football, basketball, soccer, and t-ball in Duval, St. Johns, and Clay County. You can play year-round, fall, winter, spring, and summer seasons with co-ed programs ages 3 to 17. Enter promo code 1010XL to receive $5 off registration. All the details are at i9sports.com.
If your lawn is not as green as you'd like, it's time to go orange by calling Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. Frank Frangie here. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. With the Orange Shield Protection Plan for your home or office, you can relax knowing Orange Environmental will handle pest control, termite control, and mosquito control. Orange Environmental has been giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. Call them today at 272-3284.
Servicing every customer like they're famous. But what does that mean for you? It comes down to the famous philosophy. You'll find a consistency at all 20 locations in friendly service, honest pricing, and realistic time expectations. They know when you find someone you trust to maintain your vehicle, keep it running right, and lasting longer, you'll stick with them. And that's the famous philosophy at Famous Automotive in Quick Lube. Ask about a fleet account for your business.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
I'm Taylor Dahl with your 1010XL local sports update brought to you by Monahan Jewelers. The Jaguars will be the first NFL team to play 2 games in London this season. The international schedule was announced this morning. Jags will face the Falcons at Wembley Stadium on October 1st in Week 4, followed by facing the Bills the next Sunday, October 8th in Week 5. Both games will be at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And other schedule announcements include the first ever Black Friday game. This will be the Jets versus Dolphins on Friday, November 24th at 3 p.m. And on Christmas Day, we will get a rematch of the NFC divisional matchup between the Giants and Eagles. That will be a 4:30 kickoff. Also, 2 of the best will face off New Year's Eve as Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes play Week 17 when Bengals and Chiefs meet. The full NFL schedule will be released tomorrow at 8 p.m. 86 degrees at 11:03. Time and temper brought to you by Beulah Air Condition. Stay cooler with Beulah.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I think last year ticket revenue was 40% more than what they would get for a normal average home game here in Jacksonville. So I can't imagine that Shad would be willing to let that revenue stream go. So I think an annual game in London is always going to be on the table.
All Jags, all NFL. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
And I didn't press that point, but haven't we always heard it's like a 2-to-1 kind of situation? I don't know if that's like just ticket revenue, but like the revenue that the Jags make on a game in London has always been presented as like double or roughly double.
Yep.
40%? I mean, it's good. It's better than 10%.
Yeah.
Better than 37%. But anyway, and look, I'm not an economist. I'm not a financial expert. I know they make more by doing it or they wouldn't do it.
Right.
To what specific degree, I don't need to get into the weeds that much here. On the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, glad London takes away 2 hot home games. 1 home game, 1 road game is what we're dealing with here. So, now if you're saying, well, those are 2 windows where you could have played at home, well, chances are the Jags, they're probably going to have 2 in September regardless. I would think, or 2 in the first 4 weeks. It would just make sense. Otherwise, man, starting out with 1 game, then 3 on the road, then you go to London for 2? You're saying they're going to only play in the city of Jacksonville once in the first 6 weeks of the season with the bye? I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Just couldn't see it. So I would think for sure there are going to be 2 September games. Did my ears deceive me, or did Dempsey confess to having never seen The Incredibles the other day? I did.
You did.
Never saw it.
You should.
Should is a loaded word. Once you say I should, I'm not going to watch it now. You could say you'd probably enjoy it.
It's great.
But when you tell me you should, you ain't my dad.
It's
right?
great.
My dad couldn't make me watch it, so
good
luck.
The implication of the should was that I think you would enjoy it.
You should have phrased it that way,
Yeah.
Tony. That
guy.
I'm
think
dug
you
in now,
would
E.
enjoy it.
I ain't gonna watch it, E. I don't care what it is. You can pay me. You're gonna have to pay me now to watch it. I was gonna say you could pay me, and then I'm like, Yeah, I'd do it if you paid me. So, we'll negotiate a fee. Let's see. If they start a European division, Cam still wouldn't be a starter. I think he's talking about Newton, not Robinson. That's his problem. Let's see. Somebody asked, I got a lot of these. All these coming in on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. NFL will likely add a new division over there, not move teams. I could see them allowing Shad to own a second team over there. There are only so many billionaires. No. Zero. You're not supposed to own another team in another sport, I don't think, right? Hadn't there been issues with that? Now we've seen that happen. Like, did Kroenke have to divest ownership or something? I don't know. Or I could have sworn there were issues with that, but there's zero chance that anyone is ever going to be allowed to own two teams in the same league.
Like the competitive questions that would be asked are just
never.
Yikes.
Never
so if the
going to
owner of two teams comes down to one of his teams can make the playoffs in the final week of the season and they happen to be, head to head
playing the other team.
Right, and he's laid down. Right? Like it just opens everything to that kind of stuff. By the way, just Googling this quickly, the U.S. has 735 billionaires.
That's the United States alone, right?
Right. And so, look, there are plenty of people with enough money to be able to expand the NFL if that's what they're going to do. But there is no chance in the world that they would allow one man to own two of them.
If they let any owner of any NFL team own two at the same time, I'll retire that day. Because it's not going to happen. Like, I'll quit. I'll walk away. Someone else can have this job. Okay? It's just, no.
Yeah.
No.
They're never going to do it.
No.
No.
And for so many reasons. This one also, again, on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We need 2 bye weeks. Good for players. I get to watch more Red Zone, and the season is longer. Super Bowl will fall the day before President's Day. Now, they tried it back in, 93, I think? 93, 2 bye weeks. You know who hated that? The networks. Because now, you already get, like last year, with 1 bye week, you had week 13 or 14, whatever it is, with 6 teams on a bye. Imagine that all season long, right? All of a sudden, some of your premier teams are just not available. The TV networks are the biggest impediment to that. I don't think it's totally impossible, but I think there is a lot more reconfiguring to do. But that was the big thing. They tried it already 30 years ago, and the networks were up in arms about it. Because now I feel like the feeling is there's more parity in the league now, right? There's more good quarterbacks, interesting teams. Back, coming out of the 80s, Tone, it was like, the NFC won the Super Bowl every year. And you had Washington, Dallas, San Francisco, the Giants, a handful of others that were truly the marquee teams. You had 1 or 2 teams in the AFC that would battle to see who could lose the Super Bowl to them. And it just, like now, and part of it is gambling. Fantasy football is so widespread. And we talked about that, I think, earlier this week, that, you and I will watch any NFL game to the bitter end.
Yep.
Regardless. And so maybe it's a little bit different now, but put it this way. It's not as easy as it sounds because you've got to cater to the networks their ratings really got hurt back in 93. And that's why they're paying billions of dollars.
Now, maybe it's a concession that has to be made to the players at some point if they continue wanting to expand the regular season.
Maybe so.
Right? Like if they want to go to 18 games in the regular season, maybe that's something they give back to the players. We'll add a bye week, so that you get 2 over the course of a 20-week season. That kind of thing would make some sense. I know there was a lot of noise about that when they were expanding to 17. Would that be something that the owners have to give to the players to make that happen? On the schedule, given how long the season already is, you're going to add another regular season game, take another game off the preseason, so you have a 20-week regular season calendar, right, where you'd play 18 games with 2 preseason games instead of 3. Maybe that's something that they'll think about at some point. I could see that happening, but yeah, it did hurt them. when they went to 2 bye weeks. I remember that year it was chaos every week.
I'm not saying it's totally impossible that it could happen. I'm just saying it seems like, that just add another bye week, right? But there are big money factors in there. And
I'd be fine with it if they can figure out how to do it. That'd be great.
Here's a story from just last June. George Kittle wants 2 bye weeks in a 17-game season. I mean, the player, like you said, players would be for it. You get a little more rest. You get a little more downtime, a little in-season vacation because, working half the year is tough. And there's definitely that aspect of it. But
sure.
I can bring up the league schedule here from 1993. It doesn't immediately just list the byes, but anecdotally, I was looking at some response. I looked for a list of bye weeks. They said several teams had multiple byes in a 5-week period. Like, that's the other part, the scheduling of it, right? Like, okay, I have a week 4 bye. Well, do you want your other one crazy late, or does everyone get their bye week separated by 8 weeks? You know what I mean? Like, and well, how can that be if we start in week whatever? And remember the year, of course, that the Cleveland Browns returned to the National Football League, right? And after they had left for Baltimore, they got to keep their history. And the Browns, was it 99, I think, was their first year back in the league?
That's right.
As the Browns. There were 31 teams in the league that year, which meant there had to be a bye every week of the season.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be on bye every week of the season, right? So week 1, you're all excited. Yeah, we don't play. What? And then you play every week after that. Like, oh my gosh, of course.
That ain't going to work.
I don't think we're ever going to see an odd number of teams in the National Football League at a given time. Let's see. Whatever. Yeah. All right. Appreciate that. Let's see. You are so lucky you haven't seen The Incredibles because you still get to see it for the first time. Nope. Not going to do. Good try, Bush Drive, Rich. Good try. Tony, hit Mike with a watch it and like it. Listen to the stubborn response to that. You don't think the response is stubborn enough yet? Just to Tony saying I should see it? Not going to see it. Some people say it's the greatest superhero movie ever. That's great.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. If you like, cartoons, that's fine.
Yeah. I don't think it's better than a bunch of the Marvel stuff.
I'm not here to debate the rankings, right? That wasn't really the point. But anyway, just having a little fun. So continue to send in your reaction. We got a ton of it on the text line. Text line's blowing up this morning. Appreciate you guys out there giving us feedback. That's kind of the heartbeat of the show, just to be able to interact with you as Jaguar fans. That's why we put a question out there every day, because we do value your feedback. And today we're just asking for your reaction to the Jags playing consecutive weeks in London and all the things that come with it. Week 4, a home game against the Atlanta Falcons. Week 5, then they'll move to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on the Buffalo Bills in an official road game. From that, if this is like a standalone kind of situation, it's phenomenal, right? Hey, we're going to be there anyway. You lose your Bills Mafia home crowd. And I know the Bills Mafia is like, wait do you see how we travel over there? All right, maybe. So I'm sure some of you will. There'll be a few thousand of you, just like there'll be a few thousand Jag fans making it from the States or however many the number. There'll be some of the cultivated Jaguar fans over there, and there's going to continue to be a whole bunch of that Pro Bowl-looking thing where everyone shows up in a different colored jersey, and it's like, hey, this is my chance to see NFL. Somebody said, hey, why don't they do preseason games over there? Like, I get it, and they pointed out, like, the Premier League will send teams over here to play exhibitions. But
they will.
I think soccer fans are used to that whole concept anyway. A friendly is just an exhibition game. And those games are, I don't know if people care that much about where teams stand in the standings and all that, if they like high-level soccer and they get to see it. And plus, now, I don't know. You could tell me better, Tony. Like, do they play all their guys? I would assume that's more the case when they're playing an international friendly, no matter what the venue is, that you play your good players. Whereas NFL preseason, not only do you have the coaching staffs and front offices trying to figure out how are we going to get this roster down from 90 to 54, whatever.
It's already limited, right? Like, they've already cut it from 4 to 3 games.
Correct.
And I think NFL teams would probably balk at the idea of having to do that travel, bring in a 90-man roster as opposed to, it is double the size, right?
But wouldn't you, if you're an NFL team, you give them the choice. Do you want to give up a home game during the regular season or a preseason game?
I think it would be hard to figure out preseason over in England. In England, I think it'd be tough. If you were doing that, playing a game in Mexico, okay. That's an easier trip. For everyone that's involved, or if you were going to go play one in Canada, not that they need it, they have their own professional football league, right? But that kind of thing, I think they could work out. But I think traveling overseas to make that kind of thing happen for a preseason game is probably too much.
Let's see. Travel to, what's the flight time from Buffalo to Mexico City? 7 hours. I think it's faster to get to London.
Maybe. For them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily, and that's why you usually see teams on the West Coast being the ones that play in Mexico City. You've seen Arizona play down there multiple times.
For sure.
They're taking the logistics into account there. So I don't know if it's necessarily easier. And anyway, we'll continue to look at your reaction and give you ours as well. 641-1010 if you want to weigh in on the air. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Yum, yum, good. You know the Thompson family's got your back because, look, they're going to only use the best ingredients, give you great variety, give you great options, man. Dandy's got some great sandwiches, great subs. I could truly eat their tuna salad probably every day for lunch, at least 5 days a week, and I have before at times. You know what? Because it doesn't really wreck the budget, and it's absolutely delicious. And I'm that kind of guy. I could eat the same thing every day, and it wouldn't bother me for the next 5 or 6 months. But if you want variety, Dandy's got it. Great breakfast items, breakfast sliders, light lunchtime wraps, all kinds of stuff from pancakes to French toast to sliced bacon and ham and everything you can imagine that comes with it. The great sandwiches and subs, just food that's good anytime on the go. It's convenient, it's quick, it's going to fill you up, but it's not going to weigh you down. It's not going to break the bank. That's Dandy. Been telling you about them for years. In Duval, they're the name to know. When you're hungry, go out and do what I do. Makers of Dandy, and do it today.
It's another Waste Management Wednesday in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios on 1010XL.
This is Dr. Barbara Rappaport, and I have the perfect Mother's Day gift for all the moms, grandmas, wifeys, and aunties in your life. A personalized gift from The Aesthetic Center off Southside and JTB. Help the beautiful ladies in your life look and feel their best with our wide variety of face and body treatments. Call or text us today and ask about our Mother's Day specials, 808-2455, or book her appointment online at jacksaestheticcenter.com.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Learn what it takes to make a great signal call.
Give me clear green right, 97 Buster.
And hear stories from a quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Who made that call?
Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security. Security and automation experts on 1010XL.
Drivers and heavy truck mechanics, if you like sports, then you're going to love working at Waste Management.
We have a team atmosphere here where we're looking out for one another. We jump in to help out.
Listen up. WM is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
It's camaraderie. It's everything. I like it.
Steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous boot and tool allowance.
Plus, over-the-top benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and home every day.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics. Apply online at wm.com/careers. That's wm.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer. We are WM.
Black Sheep Restaurant has been serving up delicious food and drinks to the community for 13 amazing years. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. We want to thank Jacksonville for your unwavering support throughout the years. Our last shift will be on May 27th. It's been an honor to be a part of the Jacksonville food scene, and we hope to see you at Bellwether and Orsay. Thank you for your patronage, and let's make these last days at Black Sheep unforgettable.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Rotator cuff tears are the most common overhead injuries I see. In order to avoid shoulder issues, make sure not to overload the front of the shoulder while also focusing on developing good scapular strength and maintaining flexibility in your lats. Proper hydration, nutrition, and supplementation are also crucial to joint and muscle health. Go Jag.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. If you're looking for a real solution to your thinning hair or hair loss, call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS.
What's causing your hair to fall out? Can your hair grow back? Get to the root of your problem with IHRS Hair and Scalp Analysis. This analysis magnifies your hair and scalp 400 times to see what procedures can restore your hair. Call right now for your free analysis, 904-777-IHRS, or visit hairforme.com. Stop wasting money on solutions that don't work. IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years. They are the only clinic to offer the trademarked multi-unit hair grafting PRP platelet-rich plasma and the NeoGraft FUE hair transplant procedure.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
Now, 1010XL gives you even more sports talk and spirited conversation.
You can't be serious.
Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
Very amusing.
Then Hacker After Dark.
It's astounding. It's amazing.
Evenings on 1010XL. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
From the Jags' point of view, they will be facing a really serious decision next year in terms of what if Josh Allen goes crazy and is a 12-sack guy? What if Calvin Ridley is fantastic and is up there around 1,300 yards receiving? You got to franchise one of them to protect yourself.
Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Mike Duraco earlier from ESPN here on Jaguars Today, joining us, talking about the circumstance right now with Evan Ingram. I think, we laid it out. I mean, it's pretty evident, right? If you want to be able to keep all those guys long-term, and there's no guarantee that you will.
Yep.
You certainly don't want to have to be in that position where two of them can just hit free agency completely. I honestly, ideally, if you really want to keep them all, you get something done with Evan Ingram this offseason. You get something done with Calvin Ridley during the season. Mm-hmm. And hey, let's go. And you can decide if you want to franchise tag Josh Allen after the year, based on what he did. And I know D-Rock mentioned 12 sacks, massive breakout year. I mean, what do you want for 12 sacks? You want 20+ million? I don't want to pay you 20+ million. I don't. I mean, Josh Allen wants to show up and put it all together and have a 17.5 sack season. Let's go. I don't know if I'm paying 20+ million, but I mean, maybe that is the going rate, when you look at some of the deals that pass rushers get. But again, a lot of veterans out there right now.
12.5 would put him top 10 in the league in a typical year.
Give me the names right around there.
Nick Bosa at 18.5, the lead in the league last year. Hassan Reddick, 16. Myles Garrett, 16. Chris Jones, 15.5. Matthew Judon, 15.5. Alex Highsmith, 14.5. Micah Parsons, 13.5. J.J. Watt, 12.5. Max Crosby, 12.5. Brian Burns.
J.J. Watt's like 90.
Yeah, 12.5. Quentin Williams, the guy's just behind him. With 12, Deron
defensive
Payne.
tackle.
Yep,
too.
Deron Payne, another defensive tackle with 11.5. Joshua Uche, linebacker with 11.5. Then Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave and Josh Sweat. All
Brandon
with
Graham's
11.
like 90 as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Like, it's just, like, it is, you get these numbers kind of stuck in your head, right? And there were 19 players in the NFL who had 10 sacks last year. 19.
If Josh Allen has a 12-sack season, do you want to pay him as a top 5 defensive end?
Yeah, I would.
You do?
I would.
Not me. Nope. Not as a top 5 defensive end. I don't think so.
As opposed to having to go find another guy that can give you 12 sacks, I would.
Well, you could pay Justin Houston apparently $4.5 million to get you $9.5 million. That's what they got last year.
And they may be going that route this year anyway.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't spend that money on that guy too, but I would be willing to spend that kind of value on a contract on Josh Allen if he shows he can be that guy.
He got a pretty big one. He was 16. I want to say like 16 something million.
Something in
but,
there.
you know, you've shown you can be that guy. You've shown you can also be the guy that we've had that kind of leaves us going, what happened to the guy who had 10 sacks his rookie season? Oh, that's right. Calais Campbell left. You know, I mean, I like Josh Allen. I like the fact that he likes playing here. I like all that. But, he better step up to the plate big time before I'm committing crazy money. Now, on a one-year deal, a franchise tag deal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a franchise tag number. But
if he did it back-to-back years, would you give it?
Back-to-back
If he
years.
did it on the franchise tag, like say he got 12.5
that'd be a different
this
story.
year, played on the franchise tag, got another 12, 13 sack season.
Sure, hypothetically, yes. Yeah. We're talking about a hypothetical number that he is yet to reach.
Sure.
So let's see him do it twice in a row, and then we'll have that conversation. But you know what I'm saying. Look, would I've loved to kept Jawan Taylor? Sure. I don't want to pay my right tackle $20 million a year, and that's what Kansas City's going to end up doing here.
They will.
You know, and I know, you can play left tackle. Well, he's not, is he?
Yeah.
You know, for them anyway. So a lot of interesting feedback coming in on this. Let's see. Yes, people asking, will the games over this in London this year be shown on local TV? They're always shown on local TV, and usually ESPN. Or I guess it's ESPN Plus this year they're doing it?
ESPN Plus is what they were on last year. I think.
Is that what they were on last year?
Yeah, one of the games is on ESPN Plus this year again. But even the game that was on ESPN Plus was on Channel 4 locally. So here in town,
all right, so here's my question. If you get – who's got the Sunday ticket now? Is it DirecTV, not Direct?
YouTube.
YouTube has it?
Yeah.
If you pay for that, you get it all, right? Including those games, or are these carved out of it?
No, I think it's included. I think, but I'm not positive.
I mean, because ESPN Plus is like $100 a year,
mm-hmm.
you know, and if you don't want to have ESPN Plus, it seems ridiculous to pay $100 so you could watch
a couple games.
one or two games a year when you can get what does Sunday ticket cost? I'm guessing
no idea.
$350. That's going to be my guess. It might be less. I don't know. What do you got?
Let's see. Pre-sale price of $389, $100 off the retail price of $489 for the season. So they're running.
So it's almost $500.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah.
So you can get it. You know, shop wisely. Take advantage of discounts. All right, let's take a quick tour around the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The full NFL schedule will be released tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The league has announced this year's international series and games that will be played on Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and Black Friday. The Jaguars will be playing games in back-to-back weeks in London. Week 4, they will be the home team against the Atlanta Falcons at Wembley. The next week, they will be the road team against Buffalo at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In Week 6, Baltimore will play the Titans in Tottenham. In Week 9, the Kansas City Chiefs will play Miami and Frankfurt, Germany, in the 5th and final international series game this year. Will be in Week 10 when the Patriots play the Colts in Frankfurt, Germany as well. The New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles will play at 4:30 on Christmas Day on Fox. And on New Year's Eve, the Chiefs will host the Cincinnati Bengals at 4:25 on CBS. The Black Friday game, the first of its kind. The New York Jets will play the Miami Dolphins at 3 o'clock on Black Friday, November 24th. That game will be on Amazon prime. Carolina is signing offensive tackle Cam Irving to a one-year deal. Irving has spent the past 2 years with the Panthers, will be entering his 9th season in the NFL. He was a first-round pick by the Cleveland Browns out of Florida State in 2015. The Miami Dolphins are signing tight end Tyler Kroft to a one-year deal. Tampa Bay has signed quarterback John Wolford. Wolford, a Bishop Kenny alumni right here in Jacksonville, has spent the first 4 years of his career with the LA Rams after signing with the Rams as an undrafted free agent in 2019. And Joe Cap, who was the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings in Super Bowl IV, passed away on Monday at the age of 85. Cap had been suffering from Alzheimer's disease, according to a statement from the University of California. Cap was an 18th round pick by Washington, but spent 8 years in the Canadian Football League after Washington did not contact him after the draft. Cap was then traded to the Minnesota Vikings by the CFL's BC Lions in a rare trade of players between those two leagues. Cap played the next 3 years with the Vikings, including that Super Bowl IV appearance in 1969, a season in which he went 12-1 as a starter, was voted to his lone Pro Bowl, finished second in the MVP voting that year, and threw for 7 touchdowns in a game against the Baltimore Colts, which is still tied for the most touchdown passes thrown in a single game in NFL history.
Now, Joe Cap, before my time, really, but I do recall when he and was it Angelo Mosca got in a scrap. What was that? At some kind of Legends luncheon.
It was a CFL deal, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I'm watching it right now. I mean, full-on punch in the face, swinging canes. I mean, just put Joe Cap fight in there.
I saw like a blurb about that on his wiki page as I was reading through about Joe Cap, and apparently it was regarding a cheap shot in a CFL championship game from like 1965 or something like that.
Okay.
Cheap shot to a teammate, and Joe Cap apparently can hold a grudge, boy, because he took a swing. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, I can too. Not meaning I'm going to take a swing, but I will hold a grudge. Let's see. On the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, you do not get nationally broadcast games with Sunday Ticket, which that includes any primetime games, Thursday night, London games, all that does not come with Sunday Ticket.
So you get the 1 and 4 o'clock windows on Sunday. Essentially.
Right. And wasn't there a story in the last week or so? I saw something at PFT. And again, I'm not a Sunday Ticket subscriber, kind of busy on Sundays. And look, if you like it, fine. If it works for you, get it. But that there were bidders for the Sunday Ticket package that wanted to pay the freight, what the NFL's asking, and then lower the price to their consumers.
Specifically Apple.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, Apple wanted to offer a lower rate, and I think they wanted to come up with an idea of you could subscribe to one team, kind of like they do
right,
with the
or
MLB
even maybe even individual games.
Or you could buy a single game.
And the NFL said no.
The NFL said no.
No, we want you to pay $500.
Yep.
Please, and because we don't. I mean, it's just such an image thing. Like, if they can offer it for $250, then people that have been paying $500 for years are like, you've been ripping me off all this time. They're obviously Apple thought they could make a profit doing this, or they wouldn't do it. And the NFL said, nope, we're going to go make sure that we gouge you for every penny at the consumer end of it. I mean, that's what it comes off as anyway to me. So, again, I don't get it. I don't have to get it. I don't stump for or against Sunday Ticket. If you get it and you enjoy it, good for you. And especially like if you're out of market and you want to see your team, that's kind of the only way you can do it.
That's why it exists.
But here's how Apple wanted to do it. Oh, I want to subscribe to the Jaguar games. Great. You can do that. Oh, no, you can't, said the NFL. We will not allow that. So there you go. It's a love-hate relationship at all times, right? I mean, how do you deny? I love the NFL for many, many reasons, but at times it is an incredibly frustrating entity. We'll come back and take a look at the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, asking for your reaction to the Jags playing back-to-back games in London. We'll get to that coming up next. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and ET. Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, it's Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Tell you about them all the time. Why not? They're the best in the business. Consumer Reports will tell you they're overall top choice for stylish design. That's important. But energy efficiency is important as well, and they top Consumer Reports list there as well. Pella Windows and Doors has the experts. They know the products. They know what you need, and they're not going to just try to upsell you for no reason. I've dealt with them. I have them in my house. I trust them myself. I cannot give you a higher endorsement than that. Pella Windows and Doors. When you're in the market, visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla or online at PellaJax.com.
Waste Management Wednesday continues from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios on 1010XL.
Honda has done it again with their all-new exciting SUV and truck lineup for 2023. HRV, Pilot, Passport, Ridgeline trucks, and our popular CRV hybrid. This is without a doubt Honda's most impressive lineup. Visit your local Honda dealer today. We're dealing.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
When it comes to selling your home, wouldn't you have more promises than problems? That's where Chad and Sandy step in. They guarantee to buy your home. If it's not sold on your agreed-upon date and deadline, they will buy it. That's why we're recommending Chad and Sandy Newman. Perhaps you're worried about settling for less money with a low-ball instant offer. That's not a problem because I got a promise. Chad and Sandy, the only real estate experts you can trust to this. Your home will be sold at that agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Lynn in Orange Park said, I wanted to move to be closer to family. I heard about Chad and Sandy's success and guarantee on the radio. I hired them. They couldn't have been more pleasant. They delivered as promised. My home sold above list in 3 days. How do you get this? Well, call the only agents I'm trusting and recommending. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Business owners, regular maintenance of your storm drains is crucial for preventing parking lot floods and protecting your property from damage. Give Duck Duck Rooter a call today and schedule service with our VACCON team. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars in their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! 1010XL wants to know you better.
Could we cut to the chase?
Take our listener survey and share your thoughts. You could win tickets to Jags and Gator games or the chance to see Darius Rucker at Daly's Place.
Oh, come on. What do you say? Are you in?
Just take the survey at 1010XL.com.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
What if you could be credit card debt-free in 10 days and save as much as $1,000 a month? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. Hey, it's Prosser here. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low monthly payment. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will only cost you around $400 a month. Use that money and pay off high-interest credit cards or do a home improvement project. You can access up to 90% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. So even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Stop the madness. Say no to 24% interest fees. Call Loan Pronto today. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or as always, you can visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
David here with Royal Pest Services. That grass is waking up from its winter nap. Royal is close to applying products that help bring it out of that dormancy. Our granular aeration allows treatment to get to the root system. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate. It's grow time.
Expect acceleration.
Drag race.
This Sunday at Darlington, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL.
Jaguars Today
On 1010XL.
I like it.
The 10-60 pick, all of a sudden, with the addition of Ernest Johnson, that running back room goes from kind of iffy to really a pretty strong room. So I really liked that pick in terms of getting somebody that can help them short yardage-wise as well.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, I'm about done with the whole DirecTV part of the conversation. There are a lot of people coming and weighing in a lot of different angles. I get it. Look, again, if you like what you get for it, great. Buy it. Seems a little pricey to me, but, and people are saying, you can't see it in the local market anyway. We're not talking about people in Jacksonville. I'm just talking about it as a general concept.
Yeah.
You buy the Sunday ticket. There are plenty of Jaguar fans that don't live in Jacksonville.
For sure.
The broadcast area proper. But anyway, let's put that in the rear view. Let's focus on today's question of the day. So, E.T., if you'd be so kind.
10-10 Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take, brought to you by Northern Tool. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
Honestly, I'd really like to focus not on our reaction because I feel like we talked a lot about this today, right? But in a nutshell, we'll give it to you, but I want to read some of these responses because, sometimes we don't have time for that. If this is the limit to, sure, okay. If it's like, hey, we're going to play a home game, we're going to be there anyway, we're forcing another team to come and adjust to a new environment, that's great. I could see that as a positive. As long as this is not any kind of slippery slope to more of this, I'm not forgetting a few years ago, they threw that out there, 2 home games. Not down with that. This is not that. I get it. I'm just saying, I don't like the major aspect for this year that I don't like is that it comes early and the bye week's going to be in week 6. It looks like. So,
as you said, we've discussed it throughout the program this morning. I would just add once again that I think the only advantage it gives the Jags playing that second of the back-to-back weeks in London is that Buffalo doesn't get to play at home.
Yeah.
I think that's the only advantage it gives them. Buffalo gets to do the short travel schedule that Jacksonville has been able to take advantage of in their own minds in recent years as opposed to being there for a week, which didn't work out well for them early on in this whole experiment. Now they're going to be the team there for a week. Buffalo will be the team there for 2 days, getting to play a game, but they don't get to do it in front of their home fans.
Let's see, Twitter reaction to this. We've had a bunch of text line reaction already. Let's see, Scott said, I think it sucks. Don't like watching my team play at 9 a.m. I get the whole revenue thing being good for the stability of the team, but 2 games? Nah. Well, the revenue thing is really about 1 game, the home game. Buffalo's going to reap the Tottenham revenue more so than the Jags there. Byron Left Twix said it makes the trip out there to see that 1 game that much better now, being able to double dip. Look, if you are financially able to go for, say, 10 days to London, good for you. That would make it fantastic, right? And set everything up, and I'm sure there'll be some Jag fans that absolutely do that. I think that's I can't even calculate how vast a minority of Jaguar fans are able to do that, though. How many people can take especially you got kids or in school and on and on. So if you're in that position, congrats. Doom says, and I read this earlier, but I despise it, he says, because it lends itself to the continuing narrative that the team will eventually relocate to London, and that's stupid. Better than taking 2 home games, so that's like saying day-old tuna salad is better than a bowl of poop. Well, day-old tuna salad, you can still eat that, man. One day?
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely better than a bowl of poop.
You have to eat your tuna salad like the second you make it, as long as it's in the fridge, right? All right, Kevin said, I'm good with it, especially since it forces the Bills to a neutral site for a game that may have a big impact on the conference standings. That's really one of the big takeaways here. Is it a competitive advantage for the Jags? Nothing less than what you're saying, at least, Tony, making them play neutral field as opposed to in Buffalo with their rabid fans. And, yeah, again, they'll travel. I don't know how many times the Bills have played in London and probably have a time or two before. I know Green Bay was one of the last teams to play overseas. I would imagine at this point just about everybody has. Baxter said would prefer all home games in Jax. Understand that's not the case. This is working in their favor for sure. There's a lot of that. It'd be great if the NFL gave the Jags a bye week in week 6 so they can recover from the jet lag, said Alex. Well, I don't think that is so great. They're going to get a bye week then if that's where they want.
Right.
I'm sure of that. In fact, I doubt that it was anything other than Shad Khan was enthusiastic to do this, right? Because I don't think they'd compel a team to play 2 games there, right? There are plenty of teams that they could take off Buffalo's schedule and say, look, no, Jags already travel over there. You're going to be the next one. I think this is like, hey, we're trying to cement ourselves as London's team as well as Jacksonville's team. It's a part of it. General Duval, don't know if it's an advantage or not staying over there playing back-to-back. Plus, they'll get a bye week afterwards and have to play 12 straight weeks again. That's one of the things. Doug said booking tickets now. Hey, if you're able to, that's fantastic. Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to skip all the ones from the Jag fans over there. Yes, it's good for you, right? You get to see the team you like twice. We get that. There should be very little downside to the Jags coming to you. A lot of people talking about the kickoff time. Look, for me, doesn't matter. It's an all-day. The Jaguars football is an all-day affair.
Yep.
This actually, to me, is preferable. We're on the air at 6:30.
Yes, we are.
Local time, and let's go. And that thing's done, and we're done around halftime of the 1 o'clock kickoffs, and I get to watch NFL football, just unencumbered, not out of the corner of my eye on Red Zone. Let's see. Doug said, I'm worried it could expand even further than 2 games in a season. What's to stop Mr. Khan from selling us on a second road game? Then, when we're okay with that, adding a second home game and so on. Well, I don't think he has to sell you on the road game aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's road game, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I just, again, NFL does things for a reason. And there's no need for any team to play 2 games over there other than as a proving ground.
Yeah.
And again, if the Jags are eager to do it, then sure, that makes low-hanging fruit as to who you're going to schedule.
Sure. I was looking at the Bills' history in the international series. They've played 1 game in London, and it's a game that we've already discussed this week. It's That's Toby Gerhardt game with Alan Hearns on the
Was that the Fournette game too, or was that?
No, that was in Buffalo.
In Buffalo,
yeah.
Okay.
But that was October of 2015. It's the lone international game the Bills have played. Jags won 34.
What year?
Yeah, 2015.
So
34-31. Yeah.
There's no carryover from that.
No.
None whatsoever.
No.
All right, that'll wrap it up for us today. But keep those reactions coming. We appreciate them, and we'll circle back maybe a little bit later on in the week. Of course, certainly when Tom McManus is in with us on Friday. Right now, let's welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL rolling with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, XL Primetime at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And Mia O'Brien's here with us. Hello, Mia.
Hello, friends. How we doing?
We're good. Look, long rumored that this would be the case, but how do you feel about, and I know you're going to be discussing it, but weeks 4 and 5, probably got that early bye week, which is not ideal, but what do you think about the 2 games overseas for the Jags?
I wouldn't say absolutely do the Jaguars have that early bye week, because lest we forget, Doug Peterson went to the league last year and was pretty adamant that they didn't need the bye week. And I know it was 1 game last year versus 2 games this year, but he was pretty adamant that so long as the Jaguars had a home game on the back end of that London trip, they would be able to make it work, and they preferred having their bye week after the Kansas City game. And so I don't think that that's a definite, although obviously logic would suggest it. I think there's a better chance, Mike, that they get the Thursday night game before they head to London, and so therefore they get that mini bye week on the front end of things, and that's where kind of they make up some ground. I'm okay with it. Listen, if there were 2 games that, number one, you're losing a home game and it's an Atlanta Falcons team that may contend, the NFC South's kind of up for grabs right now, but at the same time, they're still trying to find their way. And then, of course, having the Buffalo Bills, where you now don't have to go and play at their place. Yeah, it's an advantage for Jacksonville in those 2 regards. And I've had plenty of people tweeting at me this morning, as I'm sure you have as well, and I know we have at the 1010XL Twitter as well, saying this is not an advantage. Our players have to go live in London for 12 days. And listen, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. At least there are some positives that we can actually say, hey, you don't have to go to Buffalo in December and have to play in front of that crowd. At the very least, we could say that.
Yeah, there was no guarantee they'd play that game in December anyway, necessarily in Buffalo. But I hear what you're saying. By the way, I predicted they'll get a very early Thursday game against the Titans, because that's the only way you can be sure that the Titans are not out of consideration for the division title, is put it early. So I'm fully expecting that Thursday nighter to come very early for the Jags-Titans, if it in fact is that opponent, which is kind of historically traditional. What else?
Listen, I think, and that's been my bold prediction from the start, Mike, I think it's going to be the Panthers and the Jags, because obviously that's a growing Panthers team. They are still in the process of rebuilding, but you would have the last 3 number 1 overall picks all in the same game, and so that's where I think it makes perfect sense for that time slot.
All right, what else are you guys talking about today?
Dude, have you been to CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living?
No.
Oh, my God. I had not either. This place is awesome. They're treating us like royalty right now, by the way. They've got live grills that, of course, you can stop on by, check out some pricing. But even cooler, they have live grilling and pizza oven demos as part of their open house today and tomorrow. You can check out the American-made grills, the Big Green Egg. I know a lot of our listeners out there love their Big Green Eggs. If you're looking for a new one, if you're looking to remodel your outdoor patio, stop on by. They are here 9 to 3 tomorrow as well, but we will be here till 3, rocking and rolling with them on XL Primetime.
All right, have a good show. Thanks, Mia.
Thank you.
All right, XL Primetime coming up for the next 3 hours. That'll do it for us today. Thanks to Mike DeRocco for joining us. For Tony and ET, I'm Mike Dempsey. Back at it again tomorrow from 10 to noon with more Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yo, Jacksonville, who want to eat a W?